stuff the ankle, lift my hips to separate his knee, separate his butt from his Achilles. I drop my knee, do a little pass off, and again, where are we? We're in false half. So guys, false half is a super cool, super interesting position. If you guys don't know, it's on Craig's Power Bottom DVD. If you don't have that DVD, go check it out. It's a great instructional, talking about all kinds of bottom game. One thing I think it's a bit lacking though is entries into the false half. So Craig only shows one, pretty subpar, Craig. Okay, so I've got a bunch of other entries that I'll share with you guys today that I kind of came up with on my own. I think they're pretty solid. Let's see what you guys think. Okay, so first, just quickly, we'll show Craig's entry here, which is from a very strong pass attempt, where my partner's kind of throws my legs by and then wants to come in and get chest to chest. So George is over here. He throws my legs by. He comes chest to chest. No knee, no belly, just come chest to chest, and he gets the cross face. Okay, so this is what George wants. He wants to pass and get chest to chest. So we're gonna go for a cross wrist grip here, and we're gonna stop that cross face. So as George comes in, right, I go for my cross wrist grip. So in this way, it's kind of similar, this entry at least, is kind of similar to octopus, right? For octopus, I would swim underneath, build up to my elbow, hip escape out, and now I'm in my octopus position. So the false half of Craig's entry from this first one is pretty similar to that. So I catch the wrist here, I have my knee up, blocking the transition to mount. Now with my near side hand, I'm gonna catch his ankle. I like to bump him in the butt here, and then I scoop the ankle. Let's turn this away a little bit, George. So I knee him in the butt, boom, scoop the ankle as I'm stuffing, right, I stuff the ankle. Now from here, my right elbow is gonna retract as I block George's knee, and I build up into this false half position. Now, we're not always gonna come up with this wrist, guys. That's an ideal case. Other grips that could come up instead are the body lock, seat belt, or a tight waist, where George has a shallow grip on my hip here, which he will use because we'll incentivize him to use it. Good, okay, so now let's look at some of these other ones, guys. So like I said, I never really played with false half until I figured out these other entries. Because me personally, I would classify that entry as a high risk, high skill entry. So, and that, when I mean when I say that is that you have to have a high degree of skill to execute that, and there's a large margin for error, okay? Cool, so now another one, the one that I like, is a little bit safer, a little bit easier. George is on top turtle. And we know from other parts of Craig's Power Bottom DVD that if this near side knee is up, for example, and George has a body lock, he's covering my hips, here I have a lot of gain from this position, right? I have good counters from here. But when George figures that out, he suddenly takes that knee away, and now he's knee to knee here. Now, some of the solutions that we have from this turtle situation, of course, I could just look to stand up, I can 4 points, I can do things, but if I want to kind of win and sweep out of here, it's not that clear, it's not that easy, and have good options. So I was working with one guy here, pro fighter here based in Phuket, shout out to Colt. I was working with him and he had me in this position, and I realized he's taking away this leg, but he's giving me this leg instead. So what I do is I reach through, stuff the ankle, lift my hips to separate his knee, separate his butt from his Achilles. I drop my knee, do a little pass off, and again, where are we? We're in false half. Let's look at that one more time. So George is knee to knee with me. He's got this leg out. I reach in, lift, drop, pass. Now again, we're in false half. Good. So that's one I came up with kind of on the fly. I've used it a lot, and it's really safe, low risk entry. So I would say that's a low risk, low skill threshold type of entry. The next one we're going to look at is the knee cut. And if you're a 10th planet guy, I've seen Eddie do this many times to get into his quarter guard situation. I don't really like to play quarter guard because I don't really want to get smashed, but we can use the same entry to get to the false half because we don't need the underhook. That's the beautiful thing of the false half. So again, George is going to do his knee cut, and he's going to blast through my guard, and he's going to get his cross face, and oh god, it sucks. All right. So let's turn a little bit this way. So as George gets his underhook, he starts to drive his knee. What I need to do, slow motion. What I need to do is throw my arm over, and I tuck my elbow in. Then I capture the ankle, then I build up, and now again, we're here in false half. So let's go a little bit faster there. And now I'm here in my false half, and George is going to take a body lock perhaps, or take a seat belt. He can take a number of different grips. Good. So that's the knee cut entry. So another entry we can look at is from the knee shield. If you guys notice, a lot of these entries are easier than the underhook entries because we don't need the underhook, right? So George is in my knee shield here. He's got his knees on the ground. I can be in my low knee shield with my ankles crossed, that's fine. But if I have my ankles crossed, he's not going to be able to pop up on this knee. So I want him to pop up on this knee. So as he pops up on this knee, I make sure I use my top knee to block his hip. Now what I absolutely cannot allow is George to get an underhook on me here. From here, typically actually I don't mind this that much because I'll transition to my butterfly half, but I don't want to play butterfly half right now. I want to work my false half. So I keep my elbow very tight here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to block this knee. Let's turn around, George. What I'm going to do here, so let's start again. George is on his knee here. I'm in my knee shield. George pops up. I cover his knee. I block his hip, and I recross my ankles. Now, from here, I'm going to kick my leg through, bump him in the butt. Again, switch my legs. And again, here I am in my false half. George is down, he pops up the knee, I block the knee, and I block the hip. So I arrest this forward movement. From here, I can be fighting this hand, framing on the shoulder, winning the hand fight battle. I don't want him to close in on me just yet. So I kick my leg through, bump him in the butt, pass off, and again, now we're here in this false half. Good. Now the last one is from a scramble situation where George takes me down and he has a head outside body lock, for example. So George is over here. He has a head outside body lock, and let's say he just took me down. Now ideally, I'll make another plug for Craig here. Ideally I have my reverse Z, right? Again, you can find this on Power Bottom. Ideally I have my reverse Z and I'm able to do balances and stand up and look for submissions and so on. That's all great, good and dandy. But sometimes that's tough, and sometimes they force your legs to the outside. And it's not always so easy to expose that ankle, right? It's not always so easy to expose that ankle. So, what I can look to do from here is kind of take a little bit of a risk. So I would classify this as slightly higher risk. So I'm gonna open up, throw my overback, right? So I get rid of my overback, I throw it to the side, I turn and go to turtle. So George is holding me tight here. He's driving in, right? He wants to catch my hand. And what I'm going to do, I throw, extend. So this leg's going to scissor. And now, again, my wrist finds his ankle. Now from here, again, we're in false half. Let's look at that from another angle. Let's go this side. So again, I have my overback. I have my... I don't have my reverse Z. If I did, life would be a little bit better. And I can't always expose that ankle. It's difficult. So I think, for me personally, going to the false half of the scenario is very, very nice, right? He's got a strong body lock. So again, I'm going to abandon ship. I'm going to toss this arm away as I scissor my legs. And this hand is going to go straight between his legs. And I find his ankle. Maybe one more time. Just one last angle. So I'm here, I turn away, scissor. Good. Okay guys, so that's 5 entries from the false half. Guys, make sure you check back over the next few weeks. We're going to be going deep into this false half situation. I've got a lot of cool innovations and things that I've been working on that I want to share with everyone. So make sure you check back. Thanks, George, for helping me out. Guys, if you're in Bangkok, make sure you stop by Bangkok Fight Lab.